Good morning, everybody, and apologies that our session has started a little bit late this morning. We had a technical issue just to start the day, but as you can see, Martin Wolfie Adams is going to get us underway this morning against Alan Sherrock. What more could you possibly want from the first match of the day? You can see we have our two camera setup now, which is standard. Had that all day yesterday, and it will be standard going forward.
25.
Hope you all enjoy the action today, which has 21 matches in total.
Have a good one, Fallon.
Arguably, this is the best of the lot as Wolfie starts the match off. Martin looking to do what he did on Friday, which is to win the league and to try and mimic what Dave Evans did yesterday, which was quite sensational in getting 12 points out of 12. First person to do so in phase 2.
60.
Well, Fallon started very brightly with a 180 with her first 3 darts.
45.
Of course, you will see a lot of the same players in the first 4 matches. There's a couple of shifts with this longer day of darts in phase 2.
43.
You either get the early start or you get the late finish. And there will be a few matches in the middle part of the session. Everybody has to play their first and last matches. You'd have to ask the players as to whether they prefer the early start or the late finish.
43.
I myself prefer the early start. That way it's up to the other guys to chase you at the end. And Fallon leaves herself on 78 after 12. Strong start.
$62.
Martin just trying to find his rhythm a bit. Fallon needing to look at the right side of that tops, but overshoots it. She will return to break through in this first leg of the day.
180.
But now she's been put under pressure from nowhere. Wolfie gets himself to 16, but no hesitation for Fallon to take that out in 1. Fallon, of course, did not play on Monday. The way things work with the league at this point is that you don't play consecutive days usually, but Keelan Kay was supposed to play today, but he's unable to, so Adam Hookvale has been drafted in, who played yesterday, and they'll be looking for
83.
an improved session where he had some frustrating matches yesterday. Some good play, but just wasn't able to get across the line in a couple of matches.
60.
Tough competition on this Wednesday, though, with the likes of Justin Smith, Monday's winner, and Boris Koltsov, James Hubbard, Diogo Portela still to come.
$59.
Fallon unable to get a treble in the first 9 darts of this leg offers Martin the opportunity to break back. He has got the darts.
140.
And accentuates that advantage. A beautifully constructed 140.
140.
Fallon answers. It's Martin first to a finish, you would think, unless he has a disaster here. But Martin's using these newfangled flights, which I've not seen him use before. I think his darts are flying a little bit faster because they're a little slimmer. They're obviously working.
96.
Both players using a molded flight, of course. Most players out there these days get them flat and then expand them with your own fingers, but the molded flights have become very popular over the last few years. Martin with 97.
89.
Unable to take out double eight with the last start, and Fallon has an opportunity to steal her own throw.
87 and 3.
And she gets it on double five. What a way to steal that leg. And it is a shorter format, of course, in phase two. Earlier parts of the MODUS Icons of Darts Live League were best of 9. But since the beginning of last week, because of the amount of matches that we have, 21 in the day, the format has been cut to best of 7.
60.
When you get 2 points in your first game, you do get that flicking thought of today could be my day. But if you lose that first game, you're already chasing. So whoever gets the first 2 points,
85.
if I can just keep rolling, I could be top of the table at 6 o'clock tonight.
97.
These guys, throughout their time playing in this format, in this tournament, will be keeping themselves immensely
100.
sharp. So if we return to normal stage and venue darts and ranked events later in the year, these guys are going to be ones to watch. That 140 gives Fallon
41.
another break opportunity against a player she's had a lot of success against in the Icons of Darts League. When she played Martin in the night at the darts a few weeks ago, she won 4 out of 4 in the week against Wolfie. Quite the stat.
60.
Fallon knows how to hit a 160. She's already had one of these,
100.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago now. But a ton may be good enough to leave herself on 60 with Martin on a tricky 129.
$42.
You sense Fallon will get 2 for the leg. Has to readjust along the hockey. And she doesn't need asking twice. She has got that second break of throw. And possibly a 4-0 victory to start her day.
Oh, leave that one there. I'll leave that one there. Nah.
A little bit of confusion as to who was starting there. It was definitely Fallon's leg.
Treble 5. So that's in. $55.
With the 2 camera setup, you're getting more of an insight as to where people will practice when they're at home. If indeed they do practice at home, there are a lot of professionals who do not. They have venues that they usually go to sharpen up.
60.
I'd say the majority of players will be practicing at home at some point. Maybe at some point we'll have Fallon Sherrock doing a walk on down the stairs. Ton 40 ton sets up 220. She will get minimum of 6 at that
45.
to close this match out 4-0. Sets up the Shanghai, which will be for the victory. Martin just unable to get his scoring shoes laced up for this one. And we'll have improvements
140.
to be made, but that's improved. Still 6 darts for Fallon to get it done. Halves the score. Sherrock will return against Justin Smith in game 4 of the day, whereas Wolfie returns against Adam Hookvale in game 3. So a small turnaround for him.
28.
Unable to leave a finish from 201. And Sherrock, 2 for the match.
Oh, 40.
Wires double 10 and 2 match darts have gone. Fortunately, because Wolfie couldn't leave a finish, she will return and expect to win there.
82.
Double 10. Why is it again? Has to shift across the hockey. And now has to shift back.
10.
Just over the top of double 5. And can Martin stay alive with 91? He's traditionally probably going to go for, I was going to say the 51, but he's gone 25 route. Unable to get the bullseye to save his skin. And Fallon looking at match start number 6.
Oh, no.
Misses match start 6 and 7 in that visit at 2 different targets. And Martin will be wondering how he is still in this match.
Game into.
You can see the relief of Martin Adams getting a leg on the board there. But that is a break of throw. And we have seen some deficits bridged in this format over the last couple of weeks. It's by no means a certainty that Fallon will win the match
45.
now. But another thing that we have to take into consideration is that with the short format of the games, leg difference at the end of the whole day will come into play. Daily titles have been won by 1 leg when the points are the same. So will that leg loss
95.
have an effect on this match? Potentially the whole day as well. You can see behind Martin a picture of the great Eric Bristow. You wonder what Eric would have thought about playing
100.
online darts. I'm sure he never envisaged anything like this.
180.
Well, she should get more match darts after that maximum. She has definitely been the better scorer of the 2 of these players. As Martin just starts to warm up a little bit on the treble 20. Maybe Fallon's weakness will be towards the finish.
79.
Well, just outside of the bullseye for match start number 8. The question is now, will she get a chance at the 45 she's left? Martin will have a chance to steal again.
84.
He doesn't get there. And Fallon has a choice to make. 13 for double 16 should be the route, maybe.
45 and 3.
And she's got it. Somewhat falls over the line against Martin Wolfie Adams. That was a very entertaining first match. A little bit rusty for both players, but very good for Fallon that the scoring was good to start with. Stay with us as Adam Hookvale joins us. He's taking the spot of Keelan Kay today. And Justin Smith, Monday's winner, he comes back for possibly title number 2 of the week. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, and it's match 2 of the day. And Justin Smith, Monday's title winner, going up against Adam Hookville, who has stepped in at the last minute to fill the void of Keelan Kay, who's unable to play today. So he gets a bonus opportunity after a disappointing day on Tuesday. But it's England versus Wales. And Justin will be feeling very, very good about himself after the success of Monday. I'm just going for the bull right now to see who will throw first in the match. A best of 7, of course.
25.
I've had a few marathon bull-offs over the last few weeks. A couple of them have involved Justin Smith.
That's the bullseye.
Adam wins it in the best way possible. What he will be hoping for, Adam Hookville, is the kind of start he got yesterday against Scott Mitchell.
45.
Hoping that he doesn't have the finish of that match, which Scott Mitchell described as daylight robbery.
81.
Adam was 3-0 up and lost 4-3. And yesterday, Adam was at the bottom of the table on 2 points.
59.
I think it's fair to say that he should have had 4 more than that. A couple of really close defeats
40.
that should have gone the other way in his view. But Justin Smith will be very hard to beat today. When you look at the lineup of the players,
60.
you may think that he's the favourite, because he's been there or thereabouts in
180.
a couple of weeks that he's been playing, and there's more evidence of a strong start here from Justin, who leaves 100 after 9.
55.
He's making it too hard for Adam Hookville to hold his throat in this first leg.
$60.
2 above tops. You can see that he had to adjust a little bit. That first start was perfect, but his darts going so upright that the flight was in the way of the double he required. So he needed to create an angle. This time around, he doesn't have the flight in the way.
No score.
And he busts the score as Adam's on 188. Chose not to go for the risky double 5. I like that confidence. He believes that when he comes back, it is going to be hit. But now he has to hit it with Adam lingering.
82.
And he manages to squeeze it into the double 10 and get that break of throw. It's a good break of throw, but it could have been easier. He won't mind though.
60.
In the time that he has played Justin Smith, he
40.
has showed not only some great darts, but some real spirit as well.
39.
Tested against these players on almost a daily basis. You're trying to squeeze as much out of this experience as possible.
91.
Adam yesterday had games against the likes of Scott Mitchell and Daryl Fitton, who joined us yesterday. Today he's got to deal with Wolfie and Fallon Sherrock. And then later on you've got the Viking Boris Koltsov. It's a somewhat international field today with Brazil, Russia, England, Wales, and Norfolk with James Hubbard.
85.
Justin Smith hanging on to the advantage of throw in this one after 12. Not as good a scoring leg for him.
127.
Adam bridging the gap there with the good switch back to the 60. With Justin only 20 behind,
27, 98.
should find himself back in front, which he does. But leaves a tricky 119 when he returns.
59.
Not enough from Adam. He leaves himself 20 behind on an even trickier shot. 57 off leaves 62.
25 left, so 94.
He just misses the bullseye to convert. For most of the time, he will come back because 139 is very, very difficult indeed. More often than not, you see players going for the 19 segment first. Justin, double 8.
9.
Just on the outside. Doesn't convert with ease in this leg and has to rely on mistakes from Adam Hookville.
28.
He goes to hit the first dart and create room over the top for the double, but pulls it by an inch and gives another opportunity to the Welshman.
12.
And unbelievably, he's the one who pulls the dart, but this time it's into the 4. And Hookville returns for an unlikely break back.
12.
Well, by missing the big number with the first dart, he only got 1 dart for the leg, and it was badly missed. Early morning nerves.
Game 3. Sorry about that.
Oh, that was me.
When players apologise at legs, I'm usually the first person to say you shouldn't do that, but maybe it's just a way of trying to relax a little bit into the game. Some players prefer to play early. They can get up at the crack of dawn and prepare, but there are other players who prefer to play a little bit later in the day. It takes them a little while to get going.
$180.
180 from Justin Smith gets him ahead in the scoring again. He seems to be scoring better in the first half of the legs, which is giving himself more opportunities.
134.
And if he doesn't win this game 4-0, Justin Smith, he will be disappointed. He does just want the 2 points, of course, but already he's chasing Fallon Sherrock on 2 points with a leg difference of +3. So
96.
he wants to win this, but he wants to win it handsomely. So it'll be 90 for a 12 darter. Just thinking about which way to go.
$50.
He leaves tops. Just thought about it because it's unlikely that Adam's going to take the 164, but he could.
88.
What Justin wants for his own confidence is to get rid of this quickly.
20.
Doesn't want to keep missing doubles like that. It could become a habit for the day. Doesn't want to be handing legs to his opponents.
60.
And Adam misses his opportunity to steal one away from Justin, who can possibly dodge another bullet here.
Game 3.
And he manages to utilise the plan of 2-4-4, which is what he does in that spot. He's done it before in the Icons of Darts Live League. But even with a 3-0 advantage, Justin Smith is still shaking his head. The scoring has not been the problem.
180.
He's just not converting the legs quick enough. And he could get bitten later in the day, but in this game right here, it's not looking likely.
177.
They're both perfect at the start of this fourth leg. Maybe the game's just beginning.
140.
He was on the magical 9. He was 5 deep into it. Of course, in the Champions Series on Sunday, Phil Taylor missed double 12 for that 9. Adam Hookvale, however, has left 144 for that 9.
100.
Well, if Adam doesn't take the 144, he could lose the match in the next visit. Was at the first dart, just above that requisite 60. Justin Smith, 81 away from victory, and a big, big win.
Game 3.
Yeah,
And he does convert for the first time in the match. He gets rid of the leg very, very quickly. His best leg of the match, best leg of the day overall as well. I think that'll be good for his confidence going into his next game, which is against Fallon Sherrock in a couple of games' time. Adam Hookvale will stay on now to play Wolfie in a game where he needs to turn things around. We'll be right back. Well, with no hesitation, we get back into game number 3 as Adam Hookvale stays on to try and stop the rot after a 4-0 whitewash from Justin Smith. He did play a little bit better in the 4th leg, so he'll be hoping he can keep that going, but neither of these players have a win yet from their first game, so that streak is going to be broken somehow. Wolfie looking to equalise that bullseye, which he can't. And for the second game in a row, Adam Hookvale will start after hitting the bull.
$180.
Well, he has started where he left off because he was on a 9-dart attempt in that last leg of the last match. He's on another one here, but he lost the leg anyway. You may wonder what it's like to lose a match and then
54.
quickly have to be back on I say from experience that it's not easy to turn things around because it's still fresh in your memory that you've been defeated. So you've got to be able to focus on the job at hand.
100.
$55.
Nothing will make Adam feel better apart from getting a comfortable victory here. He will have a few demons from yesterday where he let some leads slip.
140.
But it seems like Martin has got his act together a little bit better at the start of this one. Not able to
140.
live with the scoring ability of Fallon Sherrock in the first match, but both players definitely improved in this third game of the day.
$81.
Martin leaves possible Hollywood shot of bull 25 bull if he returns.
Game in 3.
And that will do wonders for the confidence of Adam. Not only getting the 2 singles, but the skinny tops at the end. A brilliant, brilliant shot from him. Had lots of wayward darts in the first match.
100.
And that will allow him to forget about those now and press forward with a bit more brilliance. That was a lovely 15 darter from Hookey, who does, of course, have the nickname Bad Medicine. He got that nickname because by trade he is a pharmaceutical delivery driver. I'm sure he doesn't
81.
deliver bad medicine, of course, but he does have a walk-on song that is of the same name by Bon Jovi.
140.
Definitely a lot more sprightly in this match, Adam. He's averaging over 100, but it's early stages.
180.
Yeah, I was just going to say, question of whether Wolfie can stick with him. Well, that 180 answers that question, as he leaves himself 140 after 9.
140.
Adam gets to a better shot after 9. 84 left. And he will have it for the leg.
100.
Martin cleverly goes high on that last dart to make sure he didn't bust his score. This 84 for Adam for 12.
Oh, no. 47.
Well, he just managed to get the single 14. He was very positive on that dart, but nowhere near the bull, unfortunately.
Game in 3.
And Wolfie manages to get double 1 and double 19. I suppose if you're going to miss double top to the right like that, it's always better to get the double. Give yourself one more shot at a different double to take the leg. I feel a little bit sour for Adam Hookfield, who maybe hoped after that double 1 went in that he would get one more chance. Not to be. The switch from double top to double 19 is not a natural one for a dart player. You don't find it happens very often at all. So it just goes to show the experience and the capabilities of Wolfie. He was able to convert that one on that occasion. Not many times you see Wolfie in a dart shirt that isn't emblazoned with the colours of England.
81.
Why wouldn't it? There haven't been a great deal of England captains in my lifetime, because you've got to be a great to hold that armband. We, of course, have a couple of England captains in the MODUS Live League this week. Scott Mitchell, another. Adam having a much more improved game here. His consistency has been very evident. Again, he leaves a finish after 12.
134.
Excellent switch from Martin to get himself in touch somewhat. But 108 is definitely the more favourable finish.
Oh, 92.
And a finish which is almost done by Adam. You don't expect the 145 to go, but it could. And he's hit the treble 2 there to leave 79.
105.
And he has left tops eventually. If Adam's going to win this match, he may have to hit this shot.
Game
Just
into
to keep Wolfie at bay, and he does. Some days you can tell from the early stages of play that you are not going to dominate your opponents. You're going to have to work really hard for it. And I get the feeling that Wolfie
140.
has got that feeling right now. On the right of your screen, when Martin throws, you will sometimes see him let the dart go a little bit late and try and rescue it with a bit of shoulder action. It's a natural reaction for a dart player who knows within technique that sometimes you have to try and save it. It's called the darts snatch, was the way they coined it in the 80s.
31.
These days we call it a thrutch. Jockey Wilson was the player that made it famous. Still to this day, I don't know how he scored so many 180s with that action, but it was so entertaining to watch.
59.
If Adam gets a 140 here, he's got a great opportunity of breaking the Wolfie throw and getting 3-1 up.
60.
Not enough. You're never safe, of course, but if you're Martin, you want to be getting 2 trebles just to hammer home that advantage.
83.
Not quite, and he leaves himself a bogey number, so Adam can get to a finish via a 140 now.
100.
He's gradually getting closer. And if Martin slips one more time, maybe Adam could be in here.
59.
Does the right thing by taking the 9 off the end. The last thing you want to do is leave 99. 100 is a 2-darter and 99 is not.
Oh, 40.
I'm not really sure why I went 19s first on 210. That's one to think about. But he has left 170 just in case this ton doesn't go.
90.
And Martin pulls that last dot inside the double 10, which leaves that awkward double 5. And if this 170 goes, Adam's going to feel 10 foot tall.
80.
Oh, he's hit the wire on the 25.
Game in 1.
And Martin manages to convert that double 5, which I called awkward, but he makes it look very simple indeed. 2 each. Both working really hard for this one. They know how important this is. If you lose your first 2 games, mentally you think you're out of winning the league. Because if you look at previous leagues, yesterday it was simple. Dave Evans won all of his games, so he won the league.
60.
But on Monday, Justin Smith got 10 points, so that's 5 wins out of 6. And in that situation, you're hoping that all the other guys, and of course the girl, lose 2 games, which was the case on Monday. But it's very rare that you can win the league after losing 2 games.
180.
Wolfie definitely improved in this one. And is he waiting to strike here to take the break of throw in this 5th leg?
40.
Just to hammer home the importance of leg difference as well. On Monday, Jared Cole Keelan Kay, and Martin Adams were all on 6 points. And
100.
all 3 players were separated by 1 leg of darts.
Ooh, 129.
Well, Adam did the right thing there by going for the bullseye to try and take it out. He's fortunately got himself on 32.
97.
Unfortunately for him, Martin is unable to convert the shot that he almost did.
Game in 2.
And a 14 darter from Adam Hookville lifts his average towards 94, which is a much improved display. And he puts himself within 1 victory over Wolfie.
100.
I already mentioned earlier on that he was 3-0 up on the other England captain in the field for this week, Scott Mitchell, and lost it from 3-0 up. Doesn't want to have a repeat of that.
$140.
Martin is definitely, with his experience and skill, not going to make it easy for Adam, who himself has lifted his average to 96.
140.
Excellent leg. Finely poised.
$140.
Another 140 from Martin. First to a finish. 121. Next time we'll take this to the 7th leg. Don't forget Sherrock against Justin Smith next.
140.
Both players won their first game, so someone will get to 4 points after that one. Who will get to 2 points in this one? Bullseye for Wolfie and a 12.
96.
Not quite. Not far away. But Adam on 122. 122 for 2 points.
Oh, 108.
Oh, he went for the aggressive 6-18s and double 7, and he misses a match dart. Will that be the only match dart he gets?
$17.
The answer is no, he will get more. It's very awkward for the way his darts stand in the board. So he can either split this or be really aggressive at the double 7.
Oh, 10.
Well, all 3 darts were on the wire of something. Inside the wire in double 7, outside the wire at double 2. And Wolfie gobbles up that chance to take it to leg 7 as Adam Hookfield misses 3 match darts in that 6th leg to get the 2 points. Now he's got a whole throw and believe that he can do so to get the points on the board. If he loses this match, Hookfield is going to feel very, very sick.
$55.
One of the worst things for a dart player is to lose a match after you've had multiple chances to win it. Yesterday I played Aaron Monk and missed 2 at double 16.
134.
And then Aaron takes 141 on the bullseye to snag the 2 points away from me. You're never safe.
140.
140 from Martin to get himself 3 points ahead. A finely poised 7th leg. Adam on 309 has to go downstairs first.
96.
Not able to leave a finish, but puts himself a visit ahead. Martin quite stubborn going for the 20s.
83.
On 306, which is perplexing to me because if he gets a 140, he can't leave a finish. Hookfield's still the favourite.
43.
Again, he leaves 170, just like earlier in the match. But Wolfie has got a great chance now.
97.
The switch is good. He leaves a very favourable number. 4 or 6 19s will give him a match dart, which he will have the opportunity of doing now
56.
with the 170 coming up short from Adam Hookville. Is he going to lose to another England captain from a winning position?
Oh, okay.
Well, there's the 26. 100 left. And now the equation is simple. Take the 114, or you'll probably lose the match, Adam.
11. Garbage.
Last thing you want to do is pull that dart left on that 114. That's why a lot of people start on 19s on 114 these days. And Wolfie can't believe his luck.
Game in 2.
Well, he's stolen that one, that's for certain. Match darts were missed by Adam Hookville in the 6th leg, and he couldn't take that 114 out. So he remains on 0 points. Wolfie gets off the mark, and they have to chase, of course, Fallon Sherrock and Justin Smith, who will come up next with the next game. They're both on 2, so someone's going to get the 4 points. Join us in a moment to find out who it is. Game 4 of the day, and it's a battle of the winners so far. We haven't tasted any defeat.
Okay,
Interesting to see who gets to 4 points first.
outside.
Justin Smith will be thinking right now that life is good as he wins the league on Monday and gets a really good start with a 4-0 against Adam Hookville.
Back. Yeah. Oh. Need to the ball there. Yeah. Okay.
Justin's just getting himself in position. This time it's Justin to go first.
25.
Bullseye.
Fallon wins the bullseye with a bullseye.
And there.
Well, as it stands, Adam Hookfield is on 0 points with a leg difference of -5.
43.
Wolfie's got himself off the mark with his first 2 points and is on -2. But these players started almost perfectly, really, with Justin Smith getting a 4-0 victory and Fallon with 4-1. So
90.
points in the bank and a healthy leg difference to start their days. Justin Smith will play in this game and the next one, where he will take on Martin Adams. And the first new player we will have will be James Hubbard at 12:30 when he takes on Wolfie. James, who's had mixed success in the Icons Darts League, but will be hoping to take things in the right direction as he looks to resurrect his career. Has shown some brilliance, which I am looking forward to possibly seeing more of today from young James.
56.
Justin Smith, of course, only 22 years of age, so a mere whippersnapper compared to the only 25-year-old Fallon Sherrock. So an average of 23.5 between these players, which is good to see.
41.
Fallon looking to get another 2 points, but started very, very well here.
Oh. 27.
Well, she has on social media posted a video in the last few days where she had double 18 thrown behind her backwards.
Oh, 39.
Not able to get it on this occasion, or double 9. She's needing to negotiate the dodgy single one first.
1.
And doesn't manage to get the next door neighbour of double 18 on this occasion as well. And Justin Smith will think it's Christmas if this goes, this 105. Because even though he was the better player against Adam Hookfield in his first game, he still had to steal legs away after lots of darts missed a double. Fallon doesn't miss this time, and as Justin gets himself towards a double, Fallon closes him out. You see the shirt of
57.
Justin Smith looks like he's been mauled by a dragon. Proudly wearing the dragon on the left sleeve, of course.
85.
And Fallon in her quintessential pink, which she is noted for now.
60.
The scoring element, which was brilliant from Smith in his first game, seems to have disappeared a little bit and offered a little bit of extra breathing room to Fallon Sherrock.
77.
And when players are utilising switches and double switches, going to 19s and 18s, it's a bad sign that the first start is not up to scratch. And yet again, he's short on the first start, having to switch. Fallon has a minimum of 6 darts from 199.
137.
And from 199, that's as good a visit as you can possibly have, really, without getting all three trebles. And signs of frustration from Justin.
57.
You'll be thinking, where's it all gone wrong?
62 and 2.
Well, it's going wrong for him, and it's going right for Sherrock, who responds after a rusty first leg with a 14 darter to break the Welshman's throat.
60.
Fallon Sherrock has, of course, won a daily title when she played Night at the Darts.
97.
I think if she was to win the title today, this would eclipse that.
100.
Definitely the more settled of the two in this game. Trotting along at a fair old pace. Fallon definitely prefers to play
66.
faster players, that's for certain.
180.
I remember the first time I saw Fallon at Lakeside, and every waking moment that she wasn't playing, she was practicing with Casey Gallagher.
40.
Another fine talent from Kent. 128 for
50.
Justin. Is not successful. And Fallon could get 3-0 up here.
129.
She's in a favourable position as Justin is now forced to take the 78. Oh, and he's livid with that dart. It obviously slipped out of his hand.
70.
He will be breathing like a dragon right now. 4-4 for Sherrock. She does get it with a steady 17 darter. And Justin Smith is going to be breathing fire now.
140.
He's just taking it out on that treble 20. A little bit of extra force in that throw.
134.
When she gets started, and she gets points on the board and confident as well,
96.
she's pretty hard to stop. We have seen more big finishes from Fallon Sherrock than arguably anybody else in the last 6 weeks.
66.
She's been involved in some real dramas with, in my opinion, the top player in the last 6 weeks, Dave Evans, and of course, testing Phil Taylor. Everybody understands how
134.
good she is as a player. It doesn't matter that she's female. She's just a great player. But Justin has rebounded brilliantly in this leg, leaving 76 after 10 darts.
Demon 3.
And he does get to 12. That is a wonderful bit of self-belief from Justin Smith, because he could have easily wilted after a forgettable 78 checkout attempt in the last leg. That 12 just goes to show how much talent this young man has.
57.
I am, however, quite skeptical about beards in darts, because we do play in some very hot arenas. I guess I'll have to have a chat with Luke Humphreys at one point to see what the appeal is.
60.
I think if you're going trekking up the Andes or Everest, something like that, I think a beard is good, but
97.
when you get a sweaty brow, the last thing you need is a sweaty jawline as well. Fallon, first to get under 300. 9 darts and no trouble for Justin. Offers a great chance for a 4-1 victory for Fallon if she can convert the 291.
96.
Good last dart. puts a visit and a bit ahead.
100.
Forceful ton from Justin Smith. That's one of the get out of the way shots. Doesn't matter if the bed is blocked by one or two of your darts.
Okay, 22.
Oh, and she didn't want that. That was the number that nobody wanted from 195. And is that a bit more fuel to the fire of the dragon-like Justin Smith?
91.
Has left the finish. Sensibly went to the 17s there. Good thinking.
51.
No trouble from Fallon. And Justin has a realistic shout here. Even by not getting the 133 here,
59.
he will think that maybe I'm returning, but Fallon Sherrock has been mustered on these kinds of finishes the last few weeks. Not on this occasion. So will Justin get 1 dart, 2 darts, or any at all to take it to 2-3 down? It's 2.
Game 3.
I'm just going to confirm as to whether Justin Smith hit that. We have a
Yeah, back in. Game 3, yeah.
you got a game in 3, so can
Yeah,
confirm
right.
that Justin Smith did convert that 74 in 3 darts with a 3rd dart on double 16. So it's 3-2 to Fallon Sherrock, who has now lost her advantage of throw.
137.
One of my favourite sayings is, how do you win dart matches? Don't give your opponent a match dart. Well,
14.
even though Justin Smith has been second best in this match overall, Fallon Sherrock hasn't had a match dart yet.
59.
Will she get one in this 6th leg? Well, 305. Justin Smith has surely got to be looking at 18s. Well, he hasn't left a finish, but it's still a decent visit.
133.
Well, there's how you leave a finish from 265. Half the score. Justin
125.
Smith gets the 5 off and gets the rest off as well to leave tops. That's brilliant. But it's out of his hands.
60.
Now it's firmly back in his hands. He has given himself this chance with brilliant darts. And that is a special leg.
All right.
The only mistake he made in that leg was to leave himself on 165. But then he converted the 165 in 4 darts.
59.
Is Sherrock going to lose from 3-0 up? Well, if you're a believer in momentum, there's only one winner. But could be a momentum shift that happens for the lady in pink.
80.
What timing?
140.
Sometimes you just want to sit back and watch the leg unfold. This is very tight indeed.
93.
Well, a somewhat fortunate leave of 170 there, going for the treble 18, but came up short, and the treble 4 left that big fish check out, which will be some way to finish this match. Well, Justin's just doing his maths to see.
120, 132. Okay.
He's done exactly the same by leaving 170. Excellent tactics from both players.
81.
Does Justin Smith have this big finish in him? Well, the second dart came up way short. He'll be devastated with that effort. But it's 89 each now.
Um, 49.
Well, she's somewhat fortunately left tops this time. But now the match is out of her hands. Will you get 2? Well, you can only get a maximum of 1 now. Livid with that first dart. Might go double 18 bull. If he feels that Fallon's not going to miss tops.
Well,
Well, unfortunately, the report card will say it on that effort. An F. Didn't get a shot for the match. And this is Fallon's second attempt.
40 inches.
And she gets it on dart number 3 to squeeze 2 points away from Justin Smith. It was dramatic. It was hers. It was his. Then it's hers. She manages to get the win and she stays perfect. She's got 4 points. She will return in a couple of matches' time. But Justin Smith stays on now as he takes on Wolfie. We'll be right back. Okay, back for game 5 of the Modus Icons of Darts Live League for Wednesday. And
And you, Justin.
as Justin Smith stays on after his 4-3 defeat to fallen Sherrock, he will have his second attempt to get to 4 points for the day.
25.
He has another opponent who has the same goal. Fallen Sherrock has already got to that mark, so one of these guys will join her.
Bullseye.
A lovely call of the accentuated bullseye from Wolfie, hoping that's good enough to take the throw, which it is.
All of us ready.
What about Justin?
And you ready.
I wonder, when Justin was a kid, did he envisage playing competitively against Wolfie?
100.
Because let's face it, 22 years ago, when Justin Smith was born, it was 1998. Martin Adams was playing world-class darts in 1998. And well before he was born.
140.
So another bit of proof that the game of darts can deliver generational gaps of age,
140.
which make it so intriguing. I also wonder who Justin's heroes in Welsh darts could be.
81.
Based on his age, I wouldn't be too surprised if it wasn't Mark Webster.
133.
He would have won the world title around the time he was 10 years old. Maybe someone like Richie Davies, who made the Lakeside final against Rima van Barneveld. Or maybe his mate Jimmy Lewis,
81.
who's been playing at a high level for quite a few years. Martin definitely has steadied up since his first match where he lost to Fallon 4-1.
58.
Justin has not so much regressed since his 4-0 win over Adam Hookfield.
The 8.
First start should be at the 19s, and is. Martin's a
59.
traditionalist. You don't see him going for 2 double tops very often at all. Justin looking for a somewhat conventional 112. He's wondering where to go because the flight is in the way of tops and the single 20. He's constructed a really good single 20 there to go for the clean double 16. And not only is that a brilliantly executed visit, but he thought it out so well.
Yeah, we're up and running. Thank you.
Early break of throw for the Welshman. I really admire the way he put that 112 together.
99.
Because he knew that if he went for 12 tops, the dart was in the way. He wanted a double that didn't have anything in its path. So he went to the right of the first dart and somewhat hooked it around
140.
so that he had nothing in the way of the leg-winning shot. Just goes to show the levels that this young man has, even at the mere age of 22. More than 40 years the junior of the former England captain Martin Adams.
140.
Someone has turned the gas on for Martin here. A couple of 140s to start leg 2. He knows that you can't afford to let Justin Smith have any room at all, especially after they played on Monday and Justin won that 4-3. That was quite late in the session. That was the 20th game of Monday's session. This one a lot earlier.
100.
They both have 81, but Martin gets first try after 9 darts thrown in this leg.
Game in 2.
An 11 darter from Wolfie to break back. Textbook stuff on how to break your opponent's throw. Something very satisfying about an 11 darter, which included 3 140s in the lead up to the finish.
60.
Somewhat symmetrical.
$100.
You get 3 140s and you get the 81 and 2. You don't feel like you've missed anything, even though technically you've missed 3 darts at
93.
their respective targets, but more often than not, an 11 darter is going to be enough to take the leg. There are the rare occasions, of course, where you'll have 4 visits to the board and it's not enough. Martin is definitely
140.
back on it right now, causing Justin Smith all sorts of problems as he lifts his average above 107.
180.
Not to be counted out. Justin Smith does not want to let the opportunity of 2 daily titles for the week so far go begging.
100.
I think if he is going to win the title today, he may know at this stage that this is a must-win game. He may have to win everything from here.
98.
Unless it's a very strange day where lots of players are on 8 points potentially at the top, and it'll go down to leg difference, which for him right now is quite healthy at +3. Wolfie gets himself
Game
one
in
shot,
3.
and just like Justin Smith in the first leg, Wolfie uses the Hookey, crawls a little bit to the left, creates the angle for the treble 20 shot, and then executes that double 14 with ease to get himself 2-1 to the good.
140.
Tremendous quality game, best of the day so far, with both averages above 105.
43.
It's interesting that Martin chose the treble 20 on the previous checkout, whereas he could have gone for the empty
140.
treble 16 and tops, but he had a plan. He did a fantastic job, but Justin Smith is doing a bit of a Wolfie to Wolfie.
100.
Consecutive 140s, looking for the third, if not better.
60.
Doesn't get any trouble at all, but has a healthy advantage upon his return to the board. That advantage is being eaten into.
140.
Still got a 1 dot lead here, Justin. He's got to be careful not to slip up.
125.
And you can tell from that last dart that he'd much rather leave double 18 than double 12. When you've got 81 left with 1 dart. He could have gone 25 to leave 56 and have that guaranteed shot at tops, but aggressively went for the 45. Double 9. But he might go 10 double 4. 2 double 8. He's the kind of player to split the awkward numbers. This time he backed himself, but he didn't get there. And Wolfie
80.
almost doing more Wolfie things by nicking that leg away on the 118, but comes up short on the biggest double at the bottom of the board. And 2 each it is in a game that promised and is delivering. Averages coming down ever so slightly,
100.
but still a click or two above 100. Definitely settled into the day now, these
140.
guys. And there is a school of thought that was brought up by Jose Justicia last week when he was playing against Fallon Sherrock, that the guys who play the first games of the morning have the advantage because they will play the likes of,
129.
in today's example, James Hubbard, Diogo Portela, and Boris Koltsov.
Stop.
They'll maybe catch them a little cold when these guys have played 2 or 3 matches before they've even thrown a competitive dart.
66.
Thank you for checking my call.
Martin is the favourite to get to finish first, but he'll have to utilise the 19s or perfection on the 60 to get there.
99.
A lot of 170s have been left today, but nobody has come anywhere close to taking that biggest check out yet.
35.
Justin leaves something very similar. Somewhat a little bit easier than the 170, but you've still got to get those 260s to start.
60.
The Welshman will smell a little bit of blood here. Now, he's got to go to the right to negate that flight again. And that is a wonderful checkout from Justin Smith. Not only the 260s to set the shot up, but you can tell from the upright angle of entry for every dart that he throws, those white and red flights get in the way. So he's probably used to jumping to the right side of the hockey just to create some space. And Wolfie's only chance of winning that previous leg was the 170. He didn't get close to it.
40.
This would be some rebound
40.
for Justin Smith after losing a very, very tight match to Fallon in the last one. He was, of course, 3-0 down in that match.
85.
And he could have won it in the end. If he can win this one here and get himself to 4 points, how important will it be at the end of the day, the fact that he lost to Sherrock and lost in a tight game as opposed to losing by a big margin? We can talk about that in maybe a few hours' time. Justin is 200 ahead before Wolfie throws
100.
here. Halves the deficit. But Wolfie needs more mistakes from the young man who beat him on Monday.
85.
He was hopeful of leaving double 18 after that visit.
$140.
Wolfie gets himself to a finish. Not an easy one. Justin, first crack at the match.
71.
2 match darts gone. 2 positive efforts. But now he has to sit back and wait. Now he returns after seeing that first dart miss. This is where a dart player has to collect themselves.
60.
Think about the fact that it's just a little double 10 that separates him from 2 points.
Game in 1.
And he does get another win over Wolfie this week. Will he play him again a little bit later in the week? I'm sure he will. But the Welshman takes the spoils. He takes the second victory of the week. He also gets the 2 points to get himself on 4 points with Fallon Sherrock. Next game, it's Sherrock who returns, and she'll play Adam Hookville in just a few moments' time. Well, contrasting starts to the day for both players in this one, as Adam Hookfield still trying to get his account off and running on Wednesday's Modus Icons of Darts Live League. Sherrock just checking to see who goes first for the ball, confirmed by our players
That's
marshal.
outside.
Sherrock not currently top of the league. She is on 4 points and has not been defeated yet, of course, but is one leg behind
I can see
Justin
how you got
Smith
confused, Fallon and Adam.
in the legs difference.
25.
Fallon Sherrock wins this one. She will return to the top on 6
25.
and be in excellent position to win today, which would be quite the victory. Long way to go, though.
Bullseye.
5 games down, 16 to go. Still going at it. You can see the funny side of
25.
the long bull-off race. When you're constantly getting the same as your opponent, it does make you giggle a little bit.
Oh, outside.
Chance for Fallon to take the throw,
25.
which she does.
Well, best of.
Game.
With the 2 cameras set up now that you see with the ball on the left and the player on the right, you're getting a little bit of an insight into where the
60.
players will not only do some practice, but where they live. Feel free to let us know what you think about the technical changes that we've made in the last couple of days. If you want to get in touch with us, it's at MODUS Starts 180, or indeed myself at the Asset 180. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If there is a short break in the proceedings, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. But let's focus on the action first and foremost, as Fallon leaves herself under 200 for the first time in the match. And her scoring today has been predominantly good.
92.
And you would think with the way she's played today, she's going to cause Adam a lot of problems. But Adam's not played poorly. Just had too many slack darts. He's missed a couple of singles and missed a couple of key doubles. But there has been some brilliant stuff in between.
58.
People think he should have won his game against Wolfie in game number 3, which he lost 4-3.
88.
But Fallon going for double 18, her trademark. She falls short into double 4. Hookfield
120.
comes up short on the 158 attempt. Sherrock on double 14 hits double 11. Has to reset.
Oh, nice goal.
Oh, she's bust the score. Adam goes straight for the double 19. Very aggressive.
Game in 3.
He does get the last start
Sorry.
on double 8. In his last match, he did question his own tactics of going straight for double 7, the 3 darts. He said after the match was over that he should have split it. Well, he didn't take his own advice there and split
85.
that up with double 19. But on this occasion, he converted it anyway.
60.
Hookfield yesterday managed to get 2 points.
120.
We're still rooted to the bottom of the table. He was involved in some very good matches, particularly his game with Scott Mitchell, which was 4-3 to the man from Dorset. But he got a
40.
4-2 victory over Daryl Fitton, which definitely stood out on Daryl's debut day. Maybe he's more comfortable playing against people from the region where he lives, which is the Manchester area. Of course, there are a plethora of great players from that
96.
area of the country, like Nathan Aspinall, Daryl Fitton, Tony O'Shea.
58.
Colin seems to have lost the ability to get those darts in the big trebles now. And Adam can find himself 2-0 up. With tops.
Game in 3.
Oh, 160 out. A leg after he just falls short of a 158. So something's clicked. Second 160 out of the day. We had one in the previous game from Justin Smith. Beat that, everybody else. It would not shock me
60.
if we had something better than 160. Because the talent on show and the amount of games we have, there's every opportunity we're going to get something like a 161 or a 164. Sherrock loses this match. And maybe Justin Smith becomes favourite for the league today. But we haven't seen anything of other players yet, as Fallon gets herself maxing in leg number 3. Down to 151 after 9.
140.
First new player of the day in the second phase of phase 2 will be James Hubbard, who joins us, and he will play Wolfie next.
91.
Fallon in major control of this leg. It is to hold.
170.
She needs to convert this now and attack the Hookville throw next time round. She gets it. First dart was very close to tops, but she was able to navigate the left side of that top double and get herself on the board in this one. It's a great setup from Adam Hookville, a 170.
96.
First 170 we've had today, but it wasn't a finish. Well, a mark of great players, whether male or female, is their desire to win, of course, but their desire not to lose. There have been many sporting debates about the feeling of losing is worse than anything. But the debate wrangles on about, do you like winning more than the hate of losing? It's always going to be talked about.
100.
180 left after 9 for Adam. Fallon having to construct an approach and does leave 167. I myself love to win, but my hatred for losing is greater.
140.
Perfect. Perfect 140 from Adam Hookville, forcing Sherrock to take the 167 out, which does not go, and possible 13 dart for Adam to go 3-1 ahead.
Game in 2.
Well, 14, and it's much improved from Adam Hookville against one of the top performers of the day so far. Now he's got to get over that mental hurdle. He's got to get over someone who is just about to put in a final assault, maybe.
180.
Well, I say it's a mental hurdle for Adam because he's let games slip in the last couple of days. There's no sign of it there. gets a dart on the floor after a collision with the flight. And Hookville has got a fabulous chance of a big win now.
42.
Or maybe not. Both faltering at the same time, understanding the magnitude of this leg.
$60.
Trebles are like gold dust at the minute. No trebles from either player in their last 6 darts.
85.
Folland's first to a finish. What Adam would give for a 139 here, or even better, a 177.
59.
Has to settle for 59 and a shot at a finish, which he's already converted in this in this match.
92.
Can he do it again? If he doesn't, he may not get another dart in this leg.
All right. 140.
He almost got there. But now the pressure is firmly on superstar Sherrock.
58.
She gets it with the last dart, clinging on to this match. Adam not able to get a match opportunity. And that's what I was
58.
meaning earlier about denying your opponent the opportunity to take you out. When you have that 58, your opponent is on a match-winning shot, like 40. It's entirely up to you. It's not about defense. It's about attacking that 58 and not allowing your opponent back to the board. It's called
58.
shutting them out.
58.
3 scores of 58 in this leg. 2 from Adam Hookville, 1 from Sherrock.
60.
No treble in the first 9 darts in this leg. Is Adam Hookville thinking about the finish line too much? A lot of sports psychologists right now would be talking about stay in your process, stay in your rhythm. And that is a much better visit. Decided to utilize the 19s. He had no joy on the treble 20 segment, so the switch is good. And Fallon's made a mistake.
59.
Cannot leave a finish when you get 2 single 20s at 263. And it gives Adam 6 darts from 192.
100.
Decent ton. Fallon has one more chance to pressurize.
140.
That will definitely pressurize. 92 for the match though, and options to get it.
Game in 2.
Aggressive and executed brilliantly from Adam Hookville, who gets his first win of the day against one of the league leaders from this morning's play. He's got 2 points. Fallon remains on 4, but Justin Smith is at the top of the league as it stands on leg difference. James Hubbard's just about to join us, and he's going to play Martin Wolfie Adams in the next few moments. Please stay where you are. Well, that's a good afternoon to everybody joining us for the MODUS Icons of Darts Live League, and a good afternoon to James Hubbard, who joins the action. And his first game is against Martin Wolfie Adams.
Outside.
25.
James gets the 25, which is good enough to start this match off.
Have a good one,
James'
James.
first time playing with the two-camera setup. And he'll be looking to reverse
95.
the scoreline of 4-1 for Wolfie on Monday. James has said many times on social media in the last couple of weeks how much he's enjoying playing. Having the
41.
opportunity to play in this league. He has made big strides in the last year after taking a little bit of time away from the game after an explosive start to his career around the 2012-2013 mark, where he won the World Youth Championship over Michael van Gerwen at the O2 in front of 10,000 people.
134.
But it's not smooth sailing for everybody, and James has had to navigate some tough times.
140.
But you don't become a bad dart player overnight. And he has rediscovered some of his mojo in the last 6 to 9 months. And he's one of the players who will be devastated that mainstream action had to stop, because he had a very good start to the Challenge Tour this year. And he will want to get back to that
105.
as soon as it is safe to do so. He started this match very well, leaving 65 after 12.
180.
But he's under the biggest possible pressure now after that maximum from Wolfie. One shot at double four.
No score.
Oh, and he's pulled it low to bust the score. That could possibly set the tone for the match, as Martin has double 16
Game in 2.
and does not make any errors. What James has got to do is brush that 65 opportunity off and try and rebound. That action of Wolfie has not changed
100.
in the last 30 years. Maybe the hand doesn't shake as much as it used to. Back in the mid-90s, he was noted for it. But the mechanics,
140.
exactly the same. And if it's not broken, don't fix it.
$96.
James has done well to shake that 65 attempt off and start well in this leg. When you talk about
93.
mechanics and technique, when you look at James's throw, they don't come any better than that. I think when James's game slipped a little bit, it wasn't
60.
so much his ability, it was just confidence. He's got a lot more confidence these days than he's had in the last 3 or 4 years.
58.
He'll feel a lot better about himself if he can get one over on Wolfie here, though, from this position.
$140.
Mixed fortunes for Wolfie today. Slow start for him against Fallon Sherrock, losing 4-1 there, but he did have some technical issues to navigate just before we started. We apologise that we started a little bit late today for that. Martin then turned things around by getting a narrow 4-3 victory over Adam Hookvale, and then lost in a quality encounter with Justin Smith that was littered with good stuff.
Game in 3.
So game number 4 for him is going all the right way for Wolfie. 2-0 up against first game of the day, Hubbard. And Martin averaging 104 right now
57.
is loving life.
$100.
A win here for Wolfie would get him to 4 points, which would put him level with Fallon Sherrock and Justin Smith. Of course, he will have played 1 game more.
100.
But in order to have a chance with the league, you get the feeling he has to maybe win this 4-0 because his leg difference at this point is -4, which is a 9 leg difference to
100.
Justin Smith, who's on +5. Sherrock returns in the next match against
100.
the first game of the day for the Russian Boris Koltsov. Wolfie's remaining games are against Koltsov,
36.
Diogo Portela as well. And leaves himself on 265, and Hubbard has got the throw here. He's got to take this opportunity.
140.
Does very well to get himself in the same sort of position that he was in the first leg. Wasn't able to close it out. If he can take the 104, it'll make him
95.
feel a lot better and can't afford to give Martin any chances. Gets himself to 170 just in case. $36 and 68.
96.
And he does lead double 4, and he's had 1 shot at it already in this match. He'll be hoping that it doesn't go anywhere near that 13 again. Because Martin is going to be very close to him in a second.
134.
And there you have it. He can't afford to miss this double 4.
Game showing 1.
And doesn't. That will make him feel ever so better, as that double 4 was in the upper echelons this time, nowhere near the 13.
Oh, 81.
Well, that start from Wolfie there was a bit pushy. I mentioned earlier about sometimes the dart comes out a bit late and you try to rescue it. Wasn't able to rescue it there.
100.
These guys don't live too far away from each other. One in Cambridgeshire in Wolfie, and of
85.
course, James in his native Norfolk. He somewhat prides himself on the fact that he doesn't have a Norfolk accent.
140.
A very well-spoken young man who I had the pleasure of sharing a room with on tour for 3 or 4 years. And when you share a room with another player,
43.
you certainly get to know their bad habits, and I know plenty of James's. But I won't tell you about those because they're a secret.
44.
He's got himself a dart and a half in front here, James, but he won't be pleased with that 44 score. He had an opportunity to get a really big lead there.
180.
Well, the lead has been extinguished, and now it is a deficit.
$60.
And all of a sudden, this leg is in the hands or the paws of Wolfie. 112 for 3-1.
Game in 3.
And it is 3-1. 112 converted. And Hubbard had that leg in his pocket somewhat, but it changed over the course of the next 6 darts.
180.
I remember the first time I ever saw James Hubbard play. He was playing Jamie Lewis of Wales at Crawley at the K2 Leisure Centre. And he
140.
was involved in a titanic game in the qualifying stages of the World Youth Championship, which he subsequently won. I didn't know
58.
much about the young man, but watched that game and I was very, very impressed. Days
100.
before Dart Connect, of course, which a lot of people use for statistics and for scorekeeping, which is what we are using too.
57.
If only we could go back and look at those games. Wolfie wants to look back on victory, possibly in the next 6 darts. 261, he can take in 6.
100.
And he will have an opportunity to win 4-1 via the 161.
138.
Good approach play from James to get to 68, but it's out of his hands now. Wolfie misses the opportunity at 161 to mirror the scoreline from Monday
36.
against James. An ironic smile from the England captain
Game shot in 2.
as James Hubbard hits double 4 for a second time in this match out of 3 attempts. He could have been 3-2 ahead, James Hubbard, but he knows that he still has the opportunity at least to win this 4-3 if he can mount an
100.
offensive on the Wolfie throw.
$58.
And when you're trying to break the throw, you're thinking 140 plus, nothing else will do. And 58 doesn't really cut the mustard when your opponent starts ton
100.
and tons again. Pressure mounting, pressure snowballing on Hubbard.
140.
He's up to it. Almost equalises the score and will use the 19s next time. He'll be praying for a
95.
Wolfie mistake, but that last dart negates his hopes. And he gets the 3 off the score.
43.
And 40 more, of course. Wolfie can stroll towards the finishing line if he can get a ton plus here.
100.
Third ton of the leg with a 95 in the middle. It will be 106 for the match.
81.
And he's finished very well in this game, Martin Adams. He will have 6 darts from this position.
$90.
Well, just inside that double 16 for the first match dart. I think he checks out the scoring app to see James adrift at 179. You can take a deep breath now and execute the plan on double 8 to get 2 points in the bank and stay in the race for this title on Wednesday. His turn at double 4.
Game in 3.
And there we have it. Martin Adams seems to have the number of James Hubbard this week, who doesn't get off to a winning start, but Wolfie gets his 4th point in the bank and keeps himself in the race for today's title. Fallon Sherrock comes back to the board in a few moments' time, and she takes on first game of the day for Boris Koltsov. We'll be right back in a few moments. Well, as the players finish their practice darts, Boris Koltsov is welcome to the MODUS Icons of Darts Live League for Wednesday.
25.
And this is one of the beautiful things about
Bullseye.
this format. You have
All the best,
someone
Phil.
throwing darts from Milton Keynes in England and someone throwing all the way from Russia. I think it's fair to say that
100.
everybody knows Boris's pedigree after the way he's played, not only in the Icons of Darts League, but
42.
of course at World Championships, World Cups, and lots of other venues around the world.
1, 3,
He's, of
4.
course, a former Finland Open champion. And believe me when I say this, he is fearless.
140.
He started very well here.
140.
He throws very fast indeed, does Boris Koltsov when he gets going.
39.
And that is going to suit Fallon Sherrock. But the way Boris has thrown so far in this leg, that doesn't suit Fallon at all.
95.
As he sets up double 16, not using the bullseye route. Somewhat smartly, I think.
97.
Not going for the bullseye is just going to make things easier for you, especially when your opponent is not on a finish.
Game 2.
2 darts for a 14 dart start for Boris Koltsov. And he could be the dark horse of the day. Starting a little bit later in the proceedings. We will, of course, have 6 matches today. And if he can get off to a good start against one of the 3 players on 4 points, then there's no reason why the daily title can't go to Moscow.
100.
We are waiting for more talent to come through from Russia. They do have their own PDC affiliate where talent does pitch itself against each other for a World Championship spot at the end of the year. But more often than not, it is Boris who prevails. He is without a doubt the best player in Russia by some distance. He does
81.
utilise the Eastern European qualifier for certain European Tour events as well, and he has had success on the European Tour stage.
60.
Somewhere where Fallon Sherrock has not played yet, but potentially could maybe in the next couple of years. That will be a definitive goal for her and for Lisa Ashton to be the first female to play on the Euro Tour.
60.
Only 60 from Fallon there for the second consecutive throw, but she has fortunately seen Boris without a ton plus in this leg.
7.
And more treble-less darts from Boris to give Fallon 6 darts from 84.
72.
It's just on the wire of that double 12, outside and inside. I shall hope that double 6 will go
133.
no trouble when she comes back to the board now, but that 133 changes things a little bit.
Twelve and 3.
Well, Fallon manages to get the double 3 on the third dart. That's a tricky shot after the first attempt at double 6, almost at the double 10.
100.
That was a really good save from the young lady. Now, the way the league has panned out so far is it's making for a very interesting afternoon. Wolfie's on 4 points. Fallon is also on 4 points. Justin Smith is on 4 points.
100.
Adam Hookville on 2, but has lost a couple of games as well. It's very, very tight, but the
100.
leg difference so far for Justin Smith is the telling factor. He's on +5. Sherrock is on +2, and Wolfie's on -2.
100.
So it will unfold in the next 4 hours.
60.
If you are having a little wager on today's proceedings, we hope you are gambling responsibly, as Boris gets himself a 177 to leave 24 after 12. A very tidy looking leg. 3 tons, 177, and possibly 24 and 1.
Game in 2.
He gets it in 2 on 666. And Boris Koltsov has played like a gladiator on his own throw, but against the throw, he was completely different. He'll be hoping that he can change that in this leg. Does have some very tidy green curtains there, Boris, I have to say. Wouldn't be my choice of curtain colour, but
140.
it looks very good as a background for this. Fallon's strong and run through again, but Koltsov seems to be finding his mojo as well. On us pretty much even in what could be a pivotal leg.
100.
And these guys haven't played each other this week, of course, because Fallon was not involved on Monday.
59.
Advantage Sherrock,
58.
first to a finish, but doesn't get any trebles at that visit, and Boris will be licking his chops, thinking, if I can get to 96 here, maybe, or below.
140.
Yeah, just below to 81. The 106 might have to be popped.
98.
Not quite there. And now it's Fallon hoping for a miss.
Oh. 41.
Oh, pulled and to the left and high on that bullseye shot. Not one of his best efforts. Fallon in a preferred corner of the board.
81.
There you go. More proof that she likes the top right corner. And with the way she holds her address position, I am not surprised by that.
96.
Boris's throw is quite compact, which means he's not extending his arm away from his face too much, but you can see with Fallon, the arm is out there at a beautiful right angle, but there's lots of space between the dart and her glasses. And that kind of action, I think, is very conducive for someone who likes the top of the board. Can Sherrock steal the Koltsov throw? She's going to need mistakes from the Russian.
58.
That could be it. To just try and get her back in the leg, she needs a 140.
140.
Asking, ye shall receive. But she still needs a slip up from the man with no hair.
99.
Another 140 could make a favourite.
57.
But with a 50 advantage and the darts in his hand, you can't see Boris not doing this.
Game in 3.
And he doesn't slip up.
Yes.
Shanghai 18s, a somewhat unfashionable way to get 108 these days, but it still tots up to the right amount. Used to be more popular. Treble 18, single 18 and double 18. Nowadays, a lot of people like to go to the 19s on that shot. Doesn't matter as long as it adds up to the right number.
100.
Match-winning leg potentially for Koltsov, but Fallon grabbing the opportunity to hold with a steady start. I say steady, well, 177.96 is more than steady.
60.
This has been fast, furious, and very good. Averages don't really reflect how good this match has been for me.
58.
Sherrock wise using the 18 there. Just in case Koltsov maxes here to leave 161.
60.
And now she has a 2-visit opportunity for the 170.
96.
She will love that last dart. The last thing she wanted to see was 112. Now she has something that should guarantee a dart for the 6th leg. And there you go.
Good.
Classy 74 out. Takes this match all the way to the 7th leg. And if Sherrock was to win this leg against the throw, she will
36.
be at the top of the table on 6 points. And I feel still in with a shout of winning today.
137.
Splendid start, and it's the first time on Koltsov's throw that he's had a bad start.
40.
But he has recovered. Sherrock's on fire in this leg. Mounting the assault.
$45.
Is it slipping away from the Russian? For the first time in this match, Sherrock is favourite.
121.
And with that 2 treble visit, to add to the other 2 treble visits, she's going to have 6 darts, potentially
81.
from 103. $84 remain after that first dart.
Um, 55.
She will return for 48. She will go for 16 double 16,
180.
I believe, unless she wants to go 12 double 18. But now that 180 has changed things.
30.
Well, she's hit double 7 going for double 16, and that 180 from Boris Koltsov changed everything in this leg. Just trying to put pressure on. Is he going to get away with it? Yes, he does.
Sorry.
Wow, what a way to finish that off. Koltsov was out of it. Sherrock was on Dream Street on 48, but the 180 changed things. He takes out the 19, and he gets his first 2 points of the day and denies Sherrock the opportunity to go top herself. She will return, as will Koltsov. Next game, we have Diogo Portela in his first game against Justin Smith, who's looking to go even further at the top of the league. Well, we're about to welcome some South American flair into this afternoon's proceedings.
All the best,
I
brother.
have to
Thank
say
you,
that
mate.
maybe with COVID-19 hairdos,
25.
Diogo Portela probably takes the cake because he could probably get away with a man bun,
I'm sorry.
whereas a lot of us couldn't.